An official release date for Sonic Movie 4 has been announced, along with a big rumor that is kind of scary for the future of the Sonic movie franchise. We're going to be going into that in this video. Hello everyone, I'm OCDsaster, and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel. Everything on this channel is Sonic related, so if that sounds like something that would be your speed, consider subscribing to the channel and checking out some more videos after this one. So only after a few days of Sonic Movie 3's release, Paramount greenlit Sonic Movie 4 and fans were ecstatic. And now we've gotten a release date for Sonic Movie 4, and it's going to be March 19th, 2027. So it's going to be another 2 years until we see it, but that's to be expected. There's been a 2-year gap between all of these Sonic movies. Now, way before, during CinemaCon of 2024, Jeff Fowler made an announcement that they were going to treat the Sonic franchise, or the Sonic movie franchise I should say, as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they want to do multiple movies and TV shows and spin-offs with a bunch of different characters and really expand it out. However, there's been a big rumor going on right now, and I emphasize rumor because it has not yet been confirmed by an official source as of the recording of this video, but a lot of people are spreading it and saying it, and it's a bit concerning. I don't really like the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the track that it's going on. Phase 5 has been a real letdown, but I can't lie to you that the first and second phases and then the Avengers movies were some of my favorite cinematic experiences. And so when they announced that they were going to do the Sonic movie franchise like the MCU, I rolled my eyes at first because a lot of movie production companies really want to have a franchise like the Marvel Cinematic Universe where they can keep, beating the cash cow and just keep turning a profit. The thing with that is it has to be successful. So although the MCU has been successful, you can look at the DCEU, which is now dead, because that wasn't successful because they tried to emulate what the MCU did and it fell on its face. Along with Universal, they wanted to do the Dark Universe, and that didn't even get off after the first movie, because not only does the quality of the movies have to be good, but you also have to have enough money to keep a franchise going for that long. You see, Marvel Phase 1 and Phase 2 was very well planned out, and each movie increased in profits for the most part, till when we went to see a Marvel movie, it made like $1 billion each time, which ensured sequels and building up to a big Avengers movie, which would make even more millions and billions of dollars. What I'm trying to say here is that the MCU was successful because they really put out good quality movies at first, and that gave them enough, runway to make a profit, to make a lot of money, to do these bigger events. I was hesitant when they mentioned this for the Sonic movie franchise because I've already seen the dip in quality for the Marvel movies because they were so focused on continuity and pushing stuff out. I was worried that this could in fact happen with the Sonic movie franchise, and I just don't want that to happen. So that was the first reason why I instinctively, rolled my eyes when I first heard this. But then after sitting on it, I was like, wait, they could do some really cool storytelling here, introduce a lot of cool characters for the big screen, and really get Sonic and the lesser characters, I should say, some recognition and really help drive popularity for the franchise and get us even better games, hopefully. So that was my mentality after thinking about it. So why am I rambling on about the MCU and this announcement that they did for CinemaCon a few years back for the Sonic movie franchise? Well, the big rumor that's been going around that a lot of people are circulating, and we haven't got confirmation yet, so once again, it's not official yet, but the rumor is that Sonic Movie 4 will be the last movie of the Sonic movie franchise, and then they'll be focusing on spin-offs, whatever that means, spin-off movies or spin-off TV shows. And this is interesting to me for a multitude of reasons. One, how are you going to do a Marvel Cinematic Universe style movie universe for the Sonic franchise if you only have 4 movies out? And then are there enough characters and ideas to push spin-off movies that might not have Sonic in it to get enough people to sit in the theaters? Because we also have to mention that Jim Carrey is a big driving selling point for these movies, and he is down to return for another one, but he's not just going to keep doing these unless they keep paying him more and more money, which means it's going to be more and more expensive. And to be frank, this franchise, remember I mentioned in order to have a successful, universe and franchise in the cinema world, you have to have both quality, quantity, and profits, and it's just not looking that way for the Sonic movie franchise, sadly. Sonic movie 3 made around $400 million globally, which isn't bad at all. It's actually very, very good. It's not enough to carry on a whole franchise. Like I said before, these Marvel movies were making $1 billion a pop, so that gave them enough capital to keep going, but $400 million isn't really doing that much. And this was with Shadow the Hedgehog. That was the driving selling point for Sonic Movie 3. And, of course, like I said, Jim Carrey has some stake in there. But besides that, like, what else? What momentum can they use going forward? And it's looking a little bit grim if this is the case. There are a lot of Sonic fans, but obviously not all of them came out to the theaters to support this movie, which is why it didn't do as well. Now, some of you definitely did. I mean, the opening weekend, Sonic Movie 3 was beating out Mufasa. And I was getting really excited, but it kind of lost all of its momentum in like the second or third week of its box office. It started to drop, and then for some reason Mufasa just like kicked in, and then everyone saw Mufasa. Now it's outpaced Sonic, and it's really sad to see that, because from my understanding, I didn't see Mufasa, but my understanding is Sonic Movie 3 is significantly better in quality than what Mufasa is. But once again, it's recognizable IP. People understand Disney properties a little bit more than they Sonic properties, even though Sonic is one of the most popular video game characters of all time. Once again, this is a complete rumor. It has not been confirmed by Paramount or Sega or anybody of that nature as of this recording, so there's still hope. But I'm going to do a little bit of a thought experiment here, where I'm going to go over my thoughts if this rumor were to be true. Not saying that it is, not saying that it will be, but if it is true, my thoughts. And the biggest thought I have is, I don't want Sonic Movie 4 to then be bloated with a bunch of new characters just to get everything out of the way, check off all the boxes, and set up all these spin-offs. Because that takes time. It needs to naturally be developed, and I want a good story for all the Sonic characters that get introduced. I don't want Amy and Metal Sonic to be in there, but then we get 6 other Sonic characters all in there, and no one gets a lot of runtime. That'd be very frustrating to me. So I really hope, even if this rumor is true, they keep a very concise plot and they don't shoehorn everything in just to get stuff done. And that's my biggest concern for the most part. Another thing is the spin-offs. If we're going to do spin-offs of these Sonic characters, they have to be good, and they can't be like the Knuckles TV show where you just have, Wade Wilson taking up... Did I say Wade Wilson? Wade Whipple. Wade Wilson is Deadpool. Wade Whipple taking up all the screen time, because that's just going to turn everybody off from what you're trying to do. But then again, CG is important, and I think money is a big issue here. The elephant in the room is Paramount is not doing well financially, and although the Sonic Movie 3 made $400 million, and collectively all 3 Sonic movies have made over $8 billion in total, it's just not enough to keep something like this sustainable, and that's really sad. I'm not a mathematician, I'm not a financial expert, but it just doesn't seem like it's adding up to where they wanted it to be for this franchise. So, if this rumor ends up being true, not saying it is, but if it ends up being true, what do I see happening? Well, I can see this happening. I can see there being a Shadow the Hedgehog TV show coming out to Paramount Plus before March 19th, 2027, which is the release of Sonic Movie 4. I'm almost certain that we're getting a Shadow TV show. Will they introduce new characters like Rouge and Omega? Not 100% sure on that one. Will they introduce Doom as a villain? That's also kind of like a 50% likelihood, but that's there. After that, we'll get Sonic Movie 4, which will introduce Amy Rose and Metal Sonic. I can see Jim Carrey coming back for a final thing with Dr. Eggman, so I can see him coming back as well. All that will be its own contained story. There might be time travel in there. I'm pretty sure there will be time travel if it's the last Sonic movie, and it's going to open up these different kind of realities and introduce these characters that will be displayed in spin-off TV shows. Maybe Tails will get his own TV show, Amy will get her own TV show, and then we might get 2 or 3 more characters have spin-offs, but the budget's going to be a lot cheaper, a lot less money, and so it's going to be a little bit off, and then it's going to slowly die out. I hope I'm wrong. I'm absolutely 100% hope I'm wrong on every front. I hope the rumors aren't true. I hope we get a bigger, more vast franchise ahead of us. But I'm also just kind of realistic in the sense that the money is where it's at, sadly. I wish it wasn't, but you have to have that kind of mentality when you think about this, the business sense of it all. That's how the world works. And if people don't start supporting the Sonic movie franchise, this is where it's headed. So that's why I just have my call to action for all the Sonic fans out there, for all the people that genuinely enjoy the Sonic movie franchise. You have to go see the movies. You can't just wait for it to hit Paramount Plus. You can't just, wait around. You have to actually go out to the theaters and help with the box office. I know that's a lot to ask for. Tickets are expensive these days, and it's definitely not cheap to get concessions and stuff like that. But that's the really only way these big wigs at these companies will even bat an eye to a franchise to continue going forward. And I think if Sonic Movie 3 made anywhere from like 700 to 800 million, we wouldn't be even hearing this rumor of them stopping after Sonic Movie 3. But since it didn't really perform as well as I think everyone thought it would, I know there was a lot of Sonic fans that said it was going to make $1 billion, and it would have if every single Sonic fan actually went out and saw the movie. We would be in a different timeline, but right now everything's up in the air. It's not all doom and gloom. I'm being very dramatic. I think the rumor has some merit, but at the same time, we could be surprised. Hopefully Paramount or Sega will come out sometime soon and say it's just a rumor. We plan to do more after this, but we still have to see how Sonic Movie 4 performs. And if that's the case, be sure to, have a calendar hold for March 19th, 2027. With that being said, I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya.